Over the Hedge is perhaps the most 2000s movie ever made. Animated Dreamworks animals being menaces, with a suburban rock soundtrack by Ben Folds. The only way it could possibly get any more 2000s was if it was a tie-in video game. Yep, you guessed it, here we are. This is Over the Hedge, the game.
Oh my god, the suspense is killing me.
So it opens with the gang in the middle of a heist to steal food from a human home. The first thing that stuck out to me was the loose approximations of the voice acting.
I want to eat! I want food!
Food is what you'll get, hamster. Enough food to fill a bear cave, hopefully.
Now, I can't blame them for not being able to get Bruce Willis to spend more time as RJ for the sake of this game, but there's just something truly off about all of the voice acting here.
You need to get through the next 3 yards. Everyone knows your roles, right?
Anyway, we spawn in the garden, being told to stay out of the security light. So of course, my first move was to stick both of our playable characters in the light to see what happens. As you can see, they were brutally electrocuted to death. After that experiment, it's time to actually complete the mission and learn how the game works. So we've got 2 playable characters to switch between at once. In this case, it's RJ and the tortoise. What's his name? Who knows this guy's name? Vern. So we can switch between them, but as far as I can tell, they both have all the same abilities. They can whack objects with their golf club and magically shoot golf balls out of thin air. They can also go inside each other, so that's that.
Alrighty then.
To get past this fence, we need to obtain the key for the lock. The way we do this is by destroying 5 of these blue birdhouses in the garden. Don't ask me to explain the logic because I don't know. If you're willing to cause this much loud property damage during our stealthy heist, I don't know why we don't just whack a hole in the fence itself, but hey, it's not my plan. At one stage, I was gassed by what appears to be a dog's ass. Now that we're inside, we avoid lasers and sneak past motion sensors before disabling the home security system. For some reason, this is a job that can only be done by Hammy, the psycho cookie-loving squirrel. After doing some very basic button pressing that I still managed to somehow up, Hammy gives us this animation.
I did it! I did it!
Now we get to move freely around the home with the security deactivated. We pick up food items off the kitchen counter, throw them over to whatever the porcupine's called. Pest control shows up and throws the gang in cages, and that's the mission complete. Next, we cut straight to RJ and the bear, with some dialogue delivery that gave me flashbacks to a very special game.
Well, look what the hedge dragged in. He's died now. He's killed Evil Eb's littlest brother.
Now we're inside the van, freeing our friends from the cages. The button to interact with objects in the game world is circle, which is also the same button to jump on our friend to form a piggyback, resulting in the occasional unintended piggyback, but whatever, it's not that big a deal. After their escape from the van, the gang is chased through a hedge. This bit's pretty fun. It's hard not to enjoy a linear run and jumping section so long as the controls are functional, which they are. When we reach the end of the hedge, we're safe. You may be wondering how reaching the end means safety, when the hedge was the only thing providing any cover from the exterminator and the bear hunting us from both directions. But you see, the thing is, I don't f***ing know. It doesn't make any sense. Something about this entire game experience feels like a fever dream, and I don't think anything expresses that feeling better than showing you the following 10 seconds of cutscene.
Go! Hammy, why won't you go?
I already been. What the f?
It's nighttime and we're on the streets fighting mind-controlled rats. The combat in this game is functional but far from perfect. Swinging the golf club kinda just feels like loosely hitting anything in front of you with little precision, and the golf ball shooting mechanic isn't my favorite. The way it works is if you hold down circle, the target will lock onto enemies and then you release to fire. I would have much preferred if you just actually aim the ball yourself, and if you're skilled enough to hit the shot, good for you. But the way it works with this locking on means you can't really fire quick shots with any success. The combat tends to boil down to just spamming attack until the enemies are defeated. RJ also doesn't shut up, saying the same lines, always referring to the fact that he's a raccoon.
Enemy, meet raccoon! You have been raccoon! Meet raccoon! Enemy, meet raccoon!
Beetle, shut up!
We do a lot of sneaking, which is made more entertaining by our AI friend not seeming to understand the game's very simple detection avoiding mechanics, often getting killed as a result. We do a lot of fighting and a lot of picking up and throwing objects. This really is the main game, but there's also 3 mini games to explore. First, we've got RC Rally. This one is a pretty straightforward remote control car race. It's nothing too exciting. If anything, it just highlights how horrific some of the racing games I've played are, when the mini game mode in Over the Hedge is able to be more competent without trying.
You let that sink in.
The second minigame we've got is Range Driver. This one is all centered around the golf ball mechanic, and as a result, it kind of sucks. There's a bunch of objects with one listed at the bottom of the screen at any given time. You earn points for hitting the correct object and lose points for hitting the incorrect ones. Unfortunately, hitting the ball is inconsistent with how it moves through the air, where it'll curve, and where the game seems to think you're aiming. The result is a frustrating game mode where it kind of feels like the reason you're not doing great is more the game's fault than your own. The final game mode is Bumper Carts. This one is a destruction derby. There's no time limit, and the event only ends when all of the players' carts are destroyed except one. This is pretty fun. Trying to smash into opponents' carts without flipping or getting hit yourself is a good time, and it got pretty tense towards the end as my cart got dangerously close to 0 health. Out of the mini game modes, this one's easily the best, and I can imagine many siblings played quite a few hours of Bumper Carts on blissful 2006 weekday afternoons.
I wish there was a way to know you're in the good old days before you've actually left them.
Over the Hedge is a fairly decent game with some endearingly rough edges. It lands right in that zone of being good enough for a 2000s movie tie-in game, while not quite being good enough for me to actually want to continue playing it in 2025 like the Wall-E game or Shrek Super Slam.
I'm done! You hear me?